Hello Jackal! In today's video I will show you how to make this versus screen animation using DaVinci Resolve, and we will do it in the Fusion page, and it will be easy so anyone can do it. Now let's get digital. So let's go to the media pool, right click, new Fusion composition, make it, put it onto a timeline. We can also extend it, hold Alt and use the scroll wheel to zoom in, extend it, and then go into the Fusion page. I will simply put this video clip in so we can see the elements that we need. So how is the effect made? We have a background that is spinning, that is one section. Then we have this lighting overlay. Finally we have the cloud and the text inside. So in total 4 elements. Let's start with the background, which is probably the hardest thing to do, but still easy. So how I went about doing it, and you can do it in multiple ways, but let's stick with the simple ones. I'll use rectangle node and the background, so we can change the color of it if we need to. In the rectangle node, I simply change the width to 1 and adjust the height, maybe 0.1 for now. So this is what we have, and what we need to do is to spin this around, and we'll do that using a transfer node. So connect it, and if we go to the angle, we can spin it, but we have an issue when it comes to diagonals, is that it doesn't reach the end of the screen. So to fix that, we could go to the rectangle and type in more than 1 in the width, maybe 1.5, which does extend, as you can see, but we don't see the actual result, so this is not a fix. The fix is actually in the background node. So select the background node, go to image, and we will change the width and height of the image. So uncheck the auto resolution, and this will depend on the resolution that you have. In my case I have 2K resolution, and in this case I will simply type in 3000 by 3000 pixels. If you have 1920 by 1080, you can type in maybe 2500 by 2500. Now what did we achieve with this, besides making the screen bigger? Well, if we now add a second background node, this will be at the end, and use a merge node, connect it, with the merge selected, Ctrl T, so we switch between the yellow and the green input. And in the background node, we have to reduce the alpha to 0, so we have a transparent background. And now as you can see, we have the line going from one diagonal to the other, even if we adjust the angle. So this is the solution, but as you also see, the width is now much bigger than it was before. But that's okay, we'll change it. And we'll do it now, because we want 2 triangles going from one diagonal to the other, but we could also use just one triangle and then use different values in the next step. So now in the rectangle, I will simply squash it down a little bit. So in this case, like maybe 0.04. So I will use this rectangle as a template, but what I will use is actually a polygon. So select a polygon and connect it to the rectangle. And what I will do now is simply zoom in, make 4 points, but go about doing them in a diagonal way. So top left, bottom right, then top right, and bottom left. And lastly connect the last and the first point. So this will be the shape. I can now disconnect the rectangle. And this is the shape that I want. If I animate the angle, this is what it looks like. So not exactly what I wanted. So let me select the points and position them all the way to the end, like so. So this is now how it looks like. Now in case you move the playhead, when you did the adjustments for the polygon, you will see you have a red dot right here, which is right click here for shape animation. What does that mean? Well, let's say I position the playhead here, done this by mistake. This will automatically animate. So I have to go back to the keyframe that is out of place, click on it to disable it, also go to the beginning and disable it so that if I make any changes, it won't animate. Now in the transfer node, I'll go to the beginning, so angle will be 0, and we can make an animation. You can simply go to the beginning, keyframe the angle, but now you don't have to go to the end of the Fusion composition to make the animation. You simply need to decide how long and fast the animation should be. So maybe 120 frames, this would be 5 seconds for me, and in 5 seconds it will do maybe 60 degrees. Also, in this case, it will go counterclockwise, so type in -60. So this will be the animation, but we can do this at the end. What we need is now a lot more of these shapes. So after the background node, shift space, type in duplicate. Now how many copies you need will depend on the shape that you chose. If you use the same one as me, the butterfly, then I think 8 copies might be enough. So let's go with 8 copies, see how that looks like. You will also have to change the angle. Now what the angle should be, I will tell you that in a bit. So in this case, I will go with 10 copies. So what the angle should be, well, it is 180 divided by the number of copies. So in this case, it would be 18 degrees. And now this is spaced evenly. And if we play this, because the transform is already animated, we'll have this animation. Now if you find the lines too thin, you could go to the polygon and adjust the 2 points, position them up and position the 2 points down. But if you don't want to mess with the polygon, you could add another transform node here, go to the size, uncheck it, and simply increase the Y size. So now the last thing that we need to do is add some color to this. But before we do, let's add the other elements. Now the other elements are easy to add. First I will add the lighting. So this will be a polygon with the background node. Simply connect it. In the background node we will change the color to yellow. We will merge this together and the polygon will be in the front of this shape. And now you simply have to make a lighting kind of shape. Now you will select the polygon, Ctrl+C to copy it, Alt+Shift+V to paste it or make an instance of it. You can also right click and choose paste instance. What this will do is that the shape will stay the same, and we want this because we also want to add a stroke to this. So I will right click on the border width and the instance it, and I will also de-instance the solid. Now if we don't do this, because this will be probably in the foreground, it would mean that it would be on top of the original shape, which is not what we want. Now the background node, I will simply copy it, connect it and change the color. This one can be black. So this is now just the outline, or at least it should be, but we don't see it because we haven't changed the border width. And we will merge the background nodes together, just like so. And this is the end result. Now this outline is on the top. If you don't want that, simply switch between these two inputs with the merge node selected, Ctrl+T. And this is now on the top, and this is at the back. And you can also go back to the background and change the color if you want this to be a bit grayish. So it can be something like that. Now we need the cloud. This can be done in two ways. From DaVinci Resolve 17 and up, if you go to Effects, Tools, you will have the Shape tools. And basically with this you can combine shapes. Otherwise you can just simply use another polygon to make the cloud. Now if you use the polygon, you can move the handles by themselves, but that will be after the shape is done. So I'll simply make a shape like so. And now I can select individual points, hold Ctrl and move the handles. So that is the cloud. I will use the same process as I have done here. So background node, this one will be white. And this one will be for the stroke, so I'll just copy it. Or actually, if I want to have the same color, I can copy it and Ctrl Shift V. So now when I change the color of this one or this one, the color will be the same. And Ctrl C this one and Ctrl Shift V and disable the border width. So the instance it and the instance the solid. And adjust the border width and connect the instance polygon to the instance of the background. Merge these two, just like so. And connect them at the end. So something is not instanced. As you can see the solid, uncheck it, like so. Now if you want to change the shape of the border style, you can do that with these options. But I think this one is okay. The only thing that we need is now the text. So the text will be in the top. So it will come last. Type in verses, change the color, and then change the font, and the position, and the size. Now, if you want to animate the cloud and also have the text animated, we will actually not connect the text at the end, but together with this merge. So simply do it like this. And why is that? Well, if I go to the merge and change the size, you can see now that the cloud and the text move together. So this is how we can animate this section. And let's do this quickly. So I'll go to frame 6, keyframe the size, go forward a bit, maybe increase the size a little bit, go forward a little bit, keyframe this value at 1, and also go forward a little bit and make another keyframe at 1. Then we will go to, let's see, the spline, select the node, so in this case, merge 5, go to 3 dots, and click on show only selected tool, click on the size, because the merge only has the size value keyframed, you can click on zoom to fit, click on the select all icon, so we have 4 points selected. You can press S to smooth out the animation. Though in this case, I would position this handle like so. So it's a smooth animation. And then also click on Set Relative. So this animation repeats. So now I only made this animation, but it will repeat throughout the whole clip. So if we change the duration of the fusion clip, it will last throughout the whole fusion clip. And this is also something that I have to do with this transform. So let's go to the transform, click on angle, zoom to fit, select both points, set relative, and now this line will simply continue going in this direction. As you can see, it is now going down and the lines continue to move. So that's it for the animation. The only thing that we need to do is add some background color to the whole screen. And that will be done in this section. So we can add a background. So let's see, This one will be bluish. Make a copy of it, paste it, and this one will be reddish, like so. I will simply make one shape. So zoom out a little bit, make a polygon, connect it. So this is a mask for the first polygon. That looks like so. And we'll connect it also to the second background. But we want this color to be displayed on the right side. So go to the settings and apply mask inverted. Now simply add a merge node. Combine these two nodes together and add another merge to position these two shapes on the top of this one. Let's see how this looks at the end. Almost good. We just have to make sure that we actually see the lines in the back. So go to the merge node and go to the apply mode and change this to something that looks good to you. In this case, it could be linear burn, and that's about it. But that depends on the color that you used. I didn't change the color of this polygon background, but if I did, I can get a different result, depending on the blend mode that you use. And that's how you can make an animated versus screen in DaVinci Resolve using only the Fusion page and simple elements. And if you change the duration of the Fusion clip, the animation will continue until the Fusion clip ends. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you would want to see more DaVinci Resolve content. I'm Simon, and until next time, Jackal, keep it digital.